Why do you keep trying to restart the auxiliary power generators using the anion bypass injector method? It depletes the dilithium crystals by 50 milligrams every time.
It'll be more efficient. When you run the generator under the anion injector, it produces 3% more energy output after the first 100 hours.
But you've tried unsuccessfully to start it 5 times. All that depleted dilithium isn't worth a few % of extra output.
Well, I'll give it a few more tries. So, how's your research into a better process to reduce carbon scoring in the reactor chambers?
Oh, I prefer an adaptive baryon collimator beam to regulate the carbon buildup. I've looked at all the tests that show it works. There's plenty of them.
What about those other beams? Cation delta ray or anti-lepton nanopulse? And are there any tests where the baryon collimator beam doesn't work?
I didn't look into those other beams. And it's probably a waste of time to check any negative test results for the baryon beam.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I couldn't help overhearing.
Yes, sir?
The reasoning you're both employing is not logical. In fact, you both are exhibiting cognitive biases.
I thought we were making very good sense.
That may seem so, but bias is affecting your judgment. Lieutenant Austin, when you wish to continue to start the generator via the anion bypass injector for a number of more times after 5 failures, rather than switching to another method, you are exhibiting the sunk cost fallacy. This is the phenomenon where people justify increased investment of time, money, lives, etc. in a decision based on the cumulative prior investment, despite new evidence suggesting that the cost, beginning immediately, of continuing the decision outweighs the expected benefit.
Oh, well that makes sense. Thank you, Mr. Spock.
Yes, and Mr. Yeager, when researching if an adaptive baryon collimator was an effective means to regulate carbon scoring, you showed a confirmation bias, since you only sought out confirming evidence for your position, instead of equally researching contradicting evidence or looking into alternatives. This will lead you to base your decision upon information skewed toward one result over the other.
Yeah, I never realized. I should rethink my point of view.
That would be best. Even if it seems that one is thinking rationally, one must always strive to avoid giving in to cognitive biases, such as confirmation bias or the sunk cost fallacy. These biases are systematic patterns of deviation from rationality in judgment, causing judgments to be made in an illogical fashion. Care must be taken to mitigate these biases to ensure proper reasoning. It's only logical.